What's up guys, Jesse Navarro here, Vintage Clash, and today I'm going to take my old, dirty, grimy sneakers and make them into a professional ad using a couple AI tools. Not only are we going to have nice visuals as far as photography goes, looks like you took this thing in a professional studio, but we're also going to use tools to make some motion visual effects. You can do this all right at your desktop and a smartphone, ChatGPT and Kling. Let's go. So I'm going to go ahead and start here with ChatGPT. I'm going to go ahead and drag in 2 photos I took of my shoes. I like putting in multiple pictures of something if I have it because it gives ChatGPT more of a reference to create the image. Then I'm going to give it a simple prompt to start out with. I have a pair of worn out sneakers, OG Lucky Green. Make me an ad for Nike showcasing these. Upscale the quality, make them look new. Add the Nike logo up top, green, and add big bold text at the bottom, OG Lucky Green, make vertical. Give me the best lighting and suggested background that would appeal to a fashion-forward sneakerhead. You can really do whatever you want, but that's just kind of what I went with. I sped this up because the render time can take a while, as you can see. But here we go, we have it load. This is actually kind of my favorite part, kind of seeing it go. All right, so as you can see, ChatGPT did a pretty good job on cleaning these up. You could almost leave this as is if you didn't really care, but you could see that logo doesn't look right. You can actually go in and tell ChatGPT to check out this and make it better, and I tried that a couple times, it didn't work out, so we're gonna skip ahead to kind of the next renderings as they go on here. So this one looked nice. I went with a nice white background, but as you can see, the toe gets cut off. So since I'm going to render it again, I thought, you know what, let's throw the product box in there. So I went ahead and found an image online and decided to drop that in. I said, looks good. Can you zoom out a bit and don't cut off the shoe? Now, ChatGPT says, hey, you could talk to like a normal person, they could pick it up, but I really don't think it works all the time. As you'll see in the next render, what it ends up doing is it puts the box in the image, but then it puts it again a second time. It's kind of like it does well at very simple laid out instructions, but when it tries to get creative on its own, it's just not as good as Midjourney, except Midjourney can't really make renders and images like this. So we're going to jump into Photoshop now and use this, and we can simply just really edit out a lot of this junk. I'm going to go ahead and lasso around the messed up Air Jordan logo. We're going to apply the generative fill and kind of pick which one looks the best. I kind of went with this one, has a little crease on the side so it looks a little more real. And then just found a PNG of an Air Jordan logo. I'm going to put it in on the side, skew it to where it looks best. But like I said, everyone's project might be a little bit different. This is just the one I decided to use on this. That looks pretty good. Fade it out a little bit. Looks nice. All right, you get the idea there. Now I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this second box that's here, so I have no idea why that's there. Again, generative fill is going to go ahead and take care of that. Boom, nice and clean. Going to add the Air Jordan logo at the bottom, and there's your ad. So as you can see, we started out with the photo on the left and the right. ChatGPT went ahead and generated us a nice clean ad that we were then able to bring into Photoshop and perfect. So now we're going to go ahead and try and make our own custom shoe. So I want to make a Hellcat themed Jordan 1, only 666 ever made. So let's start with a quick prompt and see how we start with. So I just said create a deep red OG Jordan 1. And what it came out with was basically Chicago's. So we didn't like that. Like I said, I wanted all red. So I had to go ahead and give it a reference image. So I dropped in some triple red suede whatevers, and it was able to generate for me a really nice image that I was then able to bring into Photoshop and start my changes. Now, again, like I said, when it comes to ChatGPT being creative, it's kind of a one-trick pony. If you start giving it too much to think about and move around, it's not going to do good. As you'll see, I basically started off with this demon logo on the side. And what I wanted to do was drop it in just the way you see it like this and have it make a stitched in look. Same thing with the logo on the side, was just kind of give it that embossed rubber look on the side. But as you can see, that did not work out the way I wanted. So this looked like garbage, went back, tried to move it around, thought maybe if I put smaller logos other places, it would work out. Didn't really work out that way. Tried to make my own little design in here to help ChatGPT with the design. Still nothing. I went ahead and kind of changed the design. I went and put the demon logo up on top, then asked ChatGPT to go ahead and make that Nike logo yellow. You can see it's still fucked up the demon logo, and we're looking too much like McDonald's here. So I went ahead and changed the color and gave it more of this reflective look. Wanted to add some black in some other areas. And then I went ahead, pulled it into Photoshop, and I went ahead and updated that demon logo on the top, as you can see there. Now I'm gonna kind of give it more of a style. It looks too crisp, too clean. I'm gonna add this little emboss look, so it looks like it's part of the shoe. Throw in a little bit of emboss, high pass overlay, and some noise, a little bit of blur, and now it looks like a legit ad for this shoe. But let's say we want to put this shoe on a person. So go ahead and grab your favorite stock photo, generate something in Midjourney like I did, and we're going to drop that into Midjourney and give it a simple prompt. Put this shoe on this character. As you can see, the shoes are way too big, way too funky looking. They're way too bright. Doesn't look like it's part of the picture. So I had to update the prompt a little bit here, and I also didn't like the lettering on the jersey. So went ahead and changed that, and we ended up with this next photo that came out much better, a lot cleaner, and we're gonna go ahead and take this back into Photoshop and make it beautiful. So I'm gonna go ahead here and do 1080 by 1920 vertical. I took the shoe, shrunk it up a little bit, and then I basically just filled in everything on the outside black. Again, I wasn't going too crazy with this. I kind of just want to show the overall concept idea on how you can do it. Now, what I didn't know is that image generation, even though I didn't select that part of the shoe, it actually fucked up the words a little bit there, and that's not even part of the selection. So kind of found something out there, didn't like it. So if anyone knows why it does that, leave a comment down below. I'd like to know, because that's annoying. So now we're going to go ahead and drop in our demon logos again, just a little bit of skewing, a little bit of embossing there, and now we got ourselves a nice looking shoe. Now, most of you designers, as you know, we tend to tweak things for hours and hours and hours until they look perfect. This is kind of what I did here, so I'm not going to bore you with that. We're going to jump to where I just kind of finalize this design. I went ahead and made a couple layers, some high pass overlays, just to make them stick out a little bit better amongst the rest of the artwork. Toned down that demon logo. I think I ultimately just got rid of it, or just made it so low that, yeah, there you go. Went ahead, added noise, lowered that down just enough to where it looked like a nice print. We did our high pass again, and there you go. Now, as you can see, again, we started out with just an image of my old ass shoes. We made a standard, nice social media post for the OG Lucky Greens. And now we've gone ahead and created our own Demon Edition shoes with only a few prompts really in ChatGPT, nothing that crazy. But again, you're gonna need to take this into Photoshop to really make it work and to really push the design further than the limitations that are on ChatGPT, unfortunately. All right, guys, so just like that, we were able to take this sneaker, a couple iPhone photos, and make it into something nice, clean, and presentable, and looking like an actual Nike ad. We started with something basic, but then you can also see you could take it to the next level. But that's also utilizing things like Photoshop and stuff like that. But what if I told you we can take it just another step further? Check this out. So we're gonna jump back into ChatGPT. I dropped the shoes in here and I told ChatGPT, put these in a Nike shoebox. All right, so then I brought them into Photoshop, put some overlay on the logos, and from there we had a good starting image, but obviously it fucks up on the demon logo, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove those and skew and add them in again. And with a little bit of Premiere Pro magic, they're done, ready to go. These look like they're sitting in a box. Beautiful. But Jesse, you said you were gonna make this even better. Well, halfway through this, I realized that the shoes didn't have the red toe. So again, Blink of an eye. Bam, we're back. Had to fix the logos again, but now the shoes have the right color tones and that little reflective hologram Nike swoosh that I really wanted. So now, after we lock in the logo, we jump into our secret weapon, Kling AI. So you can have Kling AI for free. I think there's going to be a watermark. I don't think you get full HD. I was running out of credits, even though I do have the standard plan, which I totally recommend this over most other AI video generating services. Went ahead to make a 5-second ad, and my prompt was real simple. Stationary camera, hands enter, pick up shoe and examine it. Now, while we have that loading, I'm going to go ahead and show you here these slippers that I did of Supercharge Your Comfort, which are Hellcat slippers. They could be a little better. They kind of look like Ram trucks with Challenger front ends. But anyways, you can see that movement looks real. Those slippers look real, but it's not. It's all AI. Now, you want to see something insane? Check this out. Now, I wish I had enough credits for 10 seconds. Look at that. It's hands entering, picking it out of the box. I don't know if you guys notice it. Watch it the next time around. Takes the shoe out. It bumps into the other shoe, kind of jolts it a little bit. It looks so real. I couldn't believe it. Had to save it right away. That's going to go up on the gram. But check this out closer. I mean, look, think about all the things you could render and give that full real world experience on what that looks like. Something almost tangible. The shine off of the side of the shoe, the Nike swoosh. I mean, look, it picks up the light exactly how that material would in person. It actually keeps the logo pretty good on the side. The only one it doesn't get is the Nike logo on the tongue, but that's just because it had no reference of that. But look at it, picks it up, shakes the other shoe. It's actually holding it. The shadows are great. Yeah, this is by far one of my favorite apps for bringing these images to life. Kling AI. And don't forget, guys, to like the video, subscribe, leave me a comment, and also tag me in some of your creations. I'd love to check them out. All right, see you guys later. Bye.